Alright guys, we're back for the hard bait topwater style.
Part 2.
I'm going to start off with, you guys may actually not even know what this is. This right here,
know what that is.
this is the Jackal Pompadour. This is the big size, and then I have one in the junior size. This bait's not really thrown a lot. I've only seen one other guy ever have one of these. I think they're becoming a little more well known now, but this bait runs about $25 a piece, so they're a little more high end. But if you get a really windy, overcast day, and you want to throw that topwater, they're busting or whatever on bait fish, and you want to throw that topwater, this is a perfect bait to throw it because it has like a swimming action on top, almost like a baby bird kind of style, and it's really loud and it will draw fish in.
You know, I didn't even know what those were whenever you pulled them out. I really didn't.
I've had these for a while now, and it's hard to get yourself to throw them because of how noisy they actually are. But
it sounds like rattling metal.
It's literally, I mean, it's a really loud bait, and these, when they go back and forth in the water, it turns side to side, so it's got a really nice chugging sound to it as well, and it just makes so much commotion. So like if you got like in the fall or whatever, and there's bass busting on bait, give this a shot, because I have no doubt in my mind that eventually you're going to find the scenario where this thing just excels.
Or, I mean, if you guys want to go for a really weird one, the Savage Gear Duck, the Rat.
Yeah, you could throw the Rat, the Bat, all of those. I personally don't like them.
I think they're a little.
Which rat do I have? Oh, I have the Spro Rat. The Spro Rat's good. I've caught fish on the Spro Rat because it's got a nice joint to it. It's got good swimming action. During bed season, actually, is when I found the best success with it. You get it to crawl down and stop on their bed, basically, and you get pretty good success with it.
So
I know you have these. Let's go ahead and.
I've got.
Everybody's
I've got those actually.
I actually don't have one with me.
I've got 3 of them. So next we're talking about Waffle Poppers.
Everybody's got them. At this point, everybody's got them.
I hope so. I mean, they're a good top water bait.
We generally, I have 4 of the 90 size, and then I have 1 of the 130 size.
All 3 of mine are in the 90 size.
What? 4 out of the 6, or 4 out of, no, 3 out of the 5 I own, I found. Because if you're gonna throw these, make sure your line is heavy enough. I see so many guys go to chuck these, and their line's not heavy enough, and it just snaps off the instant they throw it. And so I find them, you know.
There was a guy at the local lake that we fish, who all he throws is these, but he throws them
every day. That's all he
throws them in the 130 size.
He throws the 130
on a spinning combo
with light line.
Which I would say the line's no more than 10 pound test.
Yeah, it's super light. I found one of the 130s, and I mean the line was basically non-existent. It was so thin, it blew me away. We always throw ours. I had to throw mine on 20-pound mono because that's what I run on my topwater rod, and then
I prefer
braid.
65-pound braid.
The only thing about braid is you got to let them get it because they got smaller treble hooks, and you don't want to blow out their mouth and rip it away from them.
With the braid, you know, I use my frogging rod to throw these, just so I have that little extra backbone whenever I go to set in the fish. But yeah, like you said, just make sure your line's heavy enough. I personally,
it's a heavier bait than you think it is. The only complaint I have with Waffle Poppers, and they did a really good job with recognizing it in the 110 size that they just came out with. I think is the size.
Something like that.
Whatever the newest sizes they came out with, they actually So the problem I have with these is you'll notice that this gap right here is really straight. It's really parallel to itself. The problem I have with this is grass gets in here, and it's almost impossible to get out. And then the actual plopper part stops working. So then you end up having to mess with a whole bunch. But the newest size, it's rounded on the back of this one, and because it's rounded, you can get in there with pliers better, or tweezers even if you have to, and you can get that grass out so you can get your bait working back again.
So, we've covered frogs in part one.
Mm-hmm.
We just, talked about whopper poppers here in general. I think the next place we need to go is just straight poppers.
We can go poppers. I love poppers.
Poppers are a good bait for us.
I kill fish on poppers around here.
So, I guess I should say this is the popper I've had the most success on. It's just a little Rebel popper in bone color. I've had success on this in both largemouth and smallmouth.
I don't have my favorite one with me today. It's on my rod.
It's the perfect size. It's not too big for them, so they don't hesitate on eating it.
This size right here. This is a standard size Rebel popper. If you can see it, this size right here for me is the best size. If you can find a popper you like in this size, that's the popper to go with. They have good spitting action, but they match the bait fish a lot better, especially towards the end of the year after the shad spawn. You get those really tiny little shad. These match a lot better. I think this is the 2 3/4 size, whereas this is the 3 3/4 size. So you got a much bigger bait. The only thing about these is you have to watch yourself. They're really light, and so you might need to downsize your gear so you can cast them a little better.
I tend to throw my poppers on I believe it's a 6.6 medium action spinning rod.
I throw mine on my Topwater setup that I use. It's a 7-foot medium heavy. It's got 20-pound mono on it.
Now, I throw the Rebel on there because it is the smallest, and it's not really it doesn't hurt the bank to lose it. Now, if we want to talk about the more expensive ones, you can go into the Mega Bass. I've got 2 of those, and they're both the bass pattern. Just one's basically shiny, one's matted. Mega Bass, I think, in my opinion, other than the Strike King one you got, that makes the best chugging sound.
I agree to some extent. The one that I'm really trying to get to use, actually it's 2. It's technically 2. It's the same blank. It's just 2 different companies use the same blank. The Rio Ricos or the Yellow Magic. It's the same blank, everything. I'm trying to get my hands on them, but it's hard to tell yourself to spend $22 on a little tiny popper like that. But I'm sure you guys probably were aware of when they went on sale on Tackle Warehouse, the blem models, the ones that weren't ever released in retail, basically. The ones that had tiny imperfections, basically. They didn't even come with hooks or anything, and they sold out within a day. So people definitely understand the Rio Rico style bait, the Yellow Magic style bait. That's probably the #1 popper.
And the final popper I've got, I don't have too many of them, and you guys, if you watched the unboxing video we did a couple days ago, you've seen this one. It's that new KVD Strike King Splash popper.
That's my favorite, but I like the small size. I like the 2 3/4. I like it in a like a gizzard shad pattern, I guess, is what it is. It's black back, silver side, kind of.
This one's just natural brim color, so I just tried to match the hatch, basically. So I think that's all on poppers. I guess the next place to go.
The final one, I think, is Spooks. Walking baits, Spooks. Let's start off with this. What's your #1?
My #1 for a walking bait / spook,
Yeah.
I'd say probably a Super Spook Junior.
Super Spook Junior.
Super Spook Junior.
Can't go wrong with Super Spook Junior.
I like how easy they are to walk.
They're a very good entry level spook. If you were willing to spend a little more money, one you could go with would be the Rover from River to Sea, or another one you could go with if you want to spend just a little bit more money than that would be a Vixen. I've heard that having both of them is actually a really good thing. They have a different sound. The chance of you running into somebody, especially for us, throwing a Vixen would be
far and few between.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever even seen a Vixen around us.
I might know one person that has one.
Our local FLW guy probably has one, but
I would say he probably does.
I've never seen him throw a spook, so the chance of him actually throwing one out there are very rare. The topwater that gets used the most around us, and the reason I don't throw them very much, is a buzzbait. If you go out there during the spring and summer, I guarantee you, one of the locals that's out there every day
It's
is throwing a buzzbait.
and it's not the bigger size buzzbait.
They
either.
throw
It's
the really small ones.
Um,
And so I stay away from them. I throw poppers generally. I throw spooks or whopper floppers. That's generally what I throw out there because they get hammered by buzzbaits every day, and I don't see the success with them as I do everything else.
But no, for you that may not know, this is the Super Spook Junior. It's very, very simple. Basically, I've got it in a bass pattern. Like Nick said, it's super, super easy to walk. It's good for entry level. I guess you want to say topwater guys.
Yeah, if you're looking to get into topwater and you've never thrown one, I definitely would say get a Rebel popper in the small size, in the 2 3/4, probably in like a white or like a natural like shad, and then get a Super Spook Junior.
Or you know, my second choice I say I would go with
I was
is
just say, or in the bone color.
bone color is always good depending on
But yeah,
or the KVD. This is a KVD. Basically, it's their version of the Super Spook.
yep.
Um,
I like
It's also a good one.
the smallest size. Like I said, we don't get a lot of big fish, so the smallest size for us is generally what works the best. Actually, the last topwater fish I caught this year was on one. It was glassing in 3 inches of water. But one that I guarantee you probably nobody's throwing is this. This is a Lucky John Louis Pencil 98. The first time I threw this bait, I got it in Mystery Tackle Box. The first time I threw this bait, we were at our local lake fishing right before we went to Hilton Head, and I had within 5 minutes I had 3 blowups. Caught 2 fish. Both were both were 3 pounds, and the one I lost was even bigger than that. Something about this bait, I don't know what it is. It's got an orange belly. I don't know if that's what doing it. It's got like a red sort of tail to it. I don't know what it was, but something about this bait on that day was what they wanted.
I know that day you absolutely crushed them on that.
Topwater that day, I was throwing them as far out in the middle of the lake as I could. It was 7-8 feet deep, and I would just barely start working it, and they would crush it instantly.
So I guess the final one in my box, I know you got a few more lined up there.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about a few.
Is I don't really remember what it's called. You remember what this one's
That's
called?
the BD.
This is it's a
It's
walking
by
bait.
it's by Castaic. The thing to know
We got
about it,
a lot of you guys that are subscribed to Mystery Tackle Box probably got these 2 months, 3 months back, something like
no,
that.
it's been a while. That was August time.
Anyway, so basically what it is, it's a walking bait. It's got almost like a popper mouth on it, little concave mouth.
That bait is made from the mold of the Lucky Craft Gunfish in the 135 size, I believe. So if you guys are familiar with that bait, then you'll know what bait this is.
Exactly. It's got the gray back, chartreuse belly, basically shines on the side with the gilt pattern.
We might make a video about BD series baits or Castaic baits some other time.
That does it for me on my pop.
It's pretty controversial. Okay, I'm going to talk about 2 more. First one I'm going to talk about, and this kind of has to do with all of their series, these live target bait balls. I do not like them. I don't know what it is about them, but they just, every time I throw them, they just don't get the attention that you think they would get. You think that the little bait fish profile would be great. There's small bait in the lakes. It would be perfect. But when it comes to the jerk bait, the spook, the crankbaits, the one thing I don't like about the crankbaits, I threw it one time and broke the bill off. It was just on normal, tiny little rock and just broke the bill off. I don't know what it is about that series of baits, but they just don't seem to do that well for us. The other one I'll talk about, and I probably should give it a lot more shots than what I have. I like the style of it, but I just don't know if it's going to perform. It's another live target. The cool thing about this is that it's got a frog shape to it, almost like it's swimming. But you'll notice there's this clear part right here, and you can see it on the belly as well. It goes from up here all the way down to the tail. So what happens is when the light shines through that and the fish looks up, all it can see is the legs kicked out. So it looks like a frog would be kicking in the water. the shape is a little off to me. It's not, your standard, spook style bait, so it doesn't walk as nice. But I may end up giving it a little more attention this year and just seeing if I can't maybe trigger 1 or 2 more fish with it, or see how it performs against the other ones. Well, that's all. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay, so I think that's all it's gonna do for. This is what, episode 4, part 2?
Well, 4 part 2, yeah.
4 part 2.
I think we got one more we
I
might
think
knock out
there's
tonight.
there's one more main subject.
That's
we'll
gonna be
knock out
jerk
tonight.
baits.
Jerk baits definitely comes into play.
And then I might, here in a couple of weeks, I might do a my swim baits that I own.
You're getting a pretty good collection.
I'm supposed to be getting a few more here soon. One
He's-
being an Onimasu
He's gonna do a tackle warehouse unboxing.
Yeah, you guys will
here
see
in a
that
couple of weeks.
unboxing.
And probably before then, we're gonna do a rod arsenal video for you guys, showing you guys what we use.
Yep, you'll see both of those.
Things we've had from the very beginning to
Those
the,
might
to
be
the newest.
those might be longer videos. I might go in a little more depth of why I choose what I choose.
I might as well. Who knows? But I promise you, it's all decent equipment. It's all really good stuff.
And probably when we make those rod videos, we'll probably talk about line, because that was a pretty big subject for me this past year, and I really want to talk about it.
It seems like we had a lot of issues with line this year.
I don't know if I necessarily had a lot of issues with lines, but I had a lot of complaints. That's for sure. I guess it's kind of the same thing.
That's a whole. We can do that on a whole another thing.
My Arsenal video might be half an hour, so
mine I'd say probably 15.
Yours probably be about the 15 minute.
15 minutes at most. He's got over double the amount of rods I do, so mine is not going to be nearly as long. But I think that's all we got for you guys today. Make sure to check out video number 5 in the series. Is what jerkbaits is going to be.
Technically 6 in the series. It'll be 6 in the series because this is part 2, basically.
But anyway, make sure to check that out. If this is the first one you're seeing, make sure to go back and check out some of the other ones.
Yep.
Like in the last videos, if you guys have any questions or anything you want to ask us or ask him personally, because he is more knowledgeable.
Yeah, generally, if you guys ask a question, I'll probably be
He's
the one
going to be
to
the
answer
one.
it.
He's going to be the one to answer. Unless it's very basic, and then I can answer it. He knows a lot more about the stuff than I do.
Breathe, sleep, eat fishing, so there's a good chance I'll know what you're talking about.
But go ahead and just leave it in the comments. Go ahead and like and subscribe as well. I know in the past we've done a few videos, nothing like what we're doing now.
No. Plan for us this season to really ramp it up. I know there's a lot of other YouTubers out there that are trying to do this fishing thing, and we're going to try to set ourselves apart this year.
We're going to try and do some things that they maybe not doing. Now, we're not going to travel like they do.
I think the thing that's going to connect us most to the viewers we have now, is we're going to try to be as realistic as possible. We both go to class full time. I'm probably going to be starting an internship as a defense contractor. I'm not going to have a lot of time. So the fishing you guys are seeing is
the time that we've
the
got.
very little amount of time that we probably will have per weeks. And there's a good chance that I will be starting to fish the BFLs this year. So you guys may see some tournament videos. Who knows how that turns out? I don't know if that'll actually pan out or not, but who knows? It's just now January 1st, so
another thing I think we might try and do for you guys is, I know a lot of these YouTubers have connections with current pros. We have a connection with a past pro. We're gonna see if we can't get maybe not some stories out of him to say, but maybe some knowledge that might be helpful for you guys.
If there's a specific question you want us to ask him, I will gladly ask him. I talk to him basically every day during the summer. He's there fishing, I'm there fishing. We're both trying to figure out the lake. So if there's a question you guys want us to ask, just leave it down there. I will be sure to ask him, provided it's of reason and it's probably about fishing.
And we work on a double team basis almost. He helps us, we help him.
Yeah. He will not care to tell you what he's catching.
He's more than willing to help.
I've seen him give baits to people that he's using. He'll cut them off his rod if he has to give it to you. he doesn't care if he catches another fish. He wants to see somebody else learn how to catch
he wants fishing to
fish.
continue,
Yeah.
and that's, I feel like that was kind of instilled on us. So hopefully he gave the
We're
message.
supposed to be going up to Indian Lake again with him in April, so
April.
you guys will probably see a video from that.
But no, he wants fishing to continue, and so do we. You know, he kind of instilled it on us that he wants it to continue. So hopefully, we pass it on to you guys. So hopefully, you know, fishing doesn't die out and just become a thing of the past.
Yeah, it's actually, I'm really impressed with how it's growing right now. It's when I first started growing up, you know, I grew up in the outdoors, hunting, fishing, you know, whatever. There was nobody that did it. I had nobody to talk to about it and stuff. And then over the last couple of years, you know, you started seeing college fishing pick up, high school fishing pick up, and now it seems like everybody does it. At some point, somebody's doing it, and so it's really nice to see how everybody else is kind of like growing back into the sport of it.
So, like I said, I know I'm repeating myself. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments. Like and subscribe, and make sure to watch video number 6 in the series, which is going to be over jerkbaits. Becomes a little more scarce after that. We might go into soft plastics.
Yeah, there might be a swim bait video
bait.
in there at some point too.
We just got to figure it out, but we're going to make sure to get it to you guys. So I think that's all we got.
Yep.
Right?
Two fingers.
Two fingers.